Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we talk about liberty, life hacks, and today, why you should run screaming from one of the biggest financial vampires in the United States of America. And of course, in this case, I'm talking about Bank of America. I'm your host, and let me tell you that if this video saves even one person from the soul-crushing nightmare that I've had to endure, it will be worth the 50 plus hours, and yes, you heard that right, that I wasted dealing with these clowns. Buckle up, because this isn't just a rant, it's a public service announcement titled, Why You Should Never, underline never, do business with Bank of America again. And spoiler alert, they're not just incompetent, they're dishonest. Woke warriors who treat their customers like disposable NPCs in an awful video game. I want to start you off at the beginning of my little story, shall we? Picture this. My wife buys a trampoline on Lazada, which is the Amazon of Asia, for about $650. She decides that she wants a bigger one, returns it, purchases the larger one. No big deal, right? Because Lazada decides to play hardball, rejects the full refund. They straight up lie, claiming that they had, in fact, refunded us. This is despite the fact that we have screenshots screaming rejected, hours of chat logs where they offered us a partial refund, and my wife basically became a full-time negotiator with these merchants because she didn't originally want to go to the bank. But once I did, do you think that B of A cared? We file the chargeback. B of A gives us a temporary credit. Hooray, right? Then Lazada and their fib hits, and poof, the credit vanishes like a magician's assistant. No heads up, no chance really to rebut. I spend hours on the phone, and this all began in November 2024, and by March 12th, to be exact, I'm once again explaining the entire saga, and some rep promises me that I'm going to get a full refund and that she's going to make sure of it. Does it show up? This is Bank of America we're talking about. Of course it doesn't. 2 weeks later, another call. Oh, sir, you need to fax in the proof. Fax! In 2025, as Michael Scott says, why don't I just attach it to the back of a dinosaur? Who still uses faxes? But fine, you know what? I'm going to shell out the $2.09 on Fax Zero for a multi-page fax with a novel's worth of documents, screenshots, timelines, the works. And so this takes us to March 31st, according to my records. And 9 days later, I call again. I'm transferred to like 4 different people. You know, the rigmarole and the audio of the elevator music when you're waiting. Over an hour wasted once again, and all I get is will request to reopen the case. For one of America's most valuable companies, this is a pathetic standard of customer service. Now, at this point, I've clocked about 15 hours between phone calls, faxes, and screaming into the void. But it gets better, or worse, depending on your sense of humor, after more infinite hold music and more transfers than a bad airport layover, I end up with about 6 faxes in total. And what do I get? What do I get? Not the $650 refund. No! Bank of America all of a sudden decides to slap my credit card statement with 2, underline 2, mystery charges of $1,185 each that go into Lazada's bank account. Supposedly related fees or something? Are you kidding me? I'm fighting to get $650 back, and they hit me with extra charges totaling $2,370. It feels like Bank of America was trolling me. Here, take this double whammy for your troubles. And also, we don't want you to call again. We don't like you. Stop wasting our time and eat shit because we're going to charge your credit card $10,000 next time. Naturally, another couple of hours on the phone in order to unravel this mess. I mean, who has time for this? Not me. Well, I guess that's not true because I certainly did make time for this because it is the principle. But now I am firmly, absolutely done with Bank of America at this point. I transfer my 1 million Merrill Edge account, which by the way, of course, is owned by Bank of America, to an actual real brokerage. Why? Two reasons. One, they're god-awful customer service that's about as helpful as a screen door on a submarine underneath the waves. And two, the fact is they debanked conservatives, making life hell for anyone with the wrong politics. I'm a classical liberal, folks, and I won't fund this un-American BS where you don't do business with somebody because you don't like where they stand on certain issues, especially when their CEO, Brian Moynihan, goes on X and flat out lies, claiming that they never debanked a soul. Evidence, Brian states otherwise. But hey, because you're dealing with Bank of America, facts are completely optional. I close all my other credit cards with them. I yank the cash from my checking account and keep this credit card open, the premium rewards cards, just to battle on. Enter now the special resolutions team. It sounds elite, right? Wrong. I spoke with Cody, employee ID F87YX, Paige, employee V22HG, Brittany, X92M9, Sandra, employee number VL6YW. Jordan, I spoke to, and Marybone, but I forgot to get their employees' IDs so I could keep track. And also a couple of others where I didn't even think to ask because I was too busy grinding my teeth. Now, this drags on for the entire year, over 30 hours on the phone in total. Finally, in an epic 2-hour phone call with Sandra, who was truly helpful, thank you very much, we cracked the code. Lazada was using 2 car seats that we returned at approximately the same time, worth almost the same amount as the trampoline as their proof of refund. Of course, it's total BS on their part, but I'm asked to fax in more evidence, screenshots galore, and Sandra swears that she's going to get me the refund. Guess what? It wasn't. Months of it's coming, promises, more calls, more frustration. I managed finally to build enough rapport with the people that I spoke to, kind of like a hostage negotiator for my money, and I get bumped up to priority. And around November, yes, a year after the original charge, I finally see the $650 credit, excuse me. Do you think that this is a victory? Hardly. It's a Pyrrhic one because you have to think of the opportunity cost of the time and the fact that I was willing to go through this. I don't think that too many people would, but for me, it's the principle, and I don't consider that incredibly intelligent of my part because there's the opportunity cost of the time as well as the money that I spent in terms of the phone calls, which from Asia aren't free, along with the faxes, etc. So I call December 8th and I close down my credit card. I want nothing more to do with Bank of America, and I request that the annual fee be refunded from 2025. I was very clear about that. And the only reason that I had kept the card open, I told them, was in an effort to fight this. And they say, you've never used your airline credit. You kept this only open to fight. We're going to give it to you. Do I get it? Nope. I call in. Where's my credit? It's going to be distributed in a few days. I call in again. Where's my credit? It's coming. So finally, last night, I'm have another hour and 4 minutes with the complaints department where they lie again. The woman speaks to her supervisor, Mike, and I can hear this because she doesn't mute her side. And instead of having the airline music, the elevator music, excuse me, I'm listening to her. And they basically say, we're not going to give him it back. That's for 2026, she tells me, not for 2025. How is that possible when in December of 2025, I closed down my card? There should be no 2026 charge. That clearly was for 2025. But this is their excuse that they're telling me we weren't going to charge you it for 2026. No, I closed the card down in 2025. There's no chance that you're going to charge me for 2026. This is an utter lie. Excuses, lies upon lies upon lies. So that's where the situation lies right now, except for one other thing. I had that checking account. Remember, I told you that I transferred all the money out? Well, because I had a $0 balance, not a negative one, a 0 one, they ding me $75 in fees over those 3 months for having no money in it. I call, I say this won't do. They refund me $50, but keep $25 for themselves because reasons. You know, they need to meet their quarterly numbers. And how dare I not park my money with them? So, you know, this time I say I'm just going to send them the money. I'm going to be a general instead of a private who's mucking around in the trenches. And I just send them $25.01 to that bank account, hoping that they're going to mail me a 1-cent check and have to eat the postage cost because I'm not able to close down the bank account with a negative balance. So that's the reason. Now, was that petty on my part to add the extra penny? Sure. But do they close the account? If you're following the pattern, absolutely frickin' no. 2 more phone calls, it's still open. It's like they're holding my financial ghost hostage. And this is not even my first rodeo in Bank of America. I should have ceased to do business a long time ago with them because years ago, I transferred $1 million to my Merrill Edge account for a promised $2,500 bonus. Now, I had to fight tooth and nail well past the deadline that it was supposed to be deposited in order to finally receive it. I opened up a corporate checking account for my business. I was promised a $200 bonus. It never showed up. Do you see the pattern? Because you have to be blind not to. And if you're not deaf, you can follow along in an audio manner. Because I'm going to tell you guys something that Bank of America, it's not a bank. It's a black hole for your time, your money, and your sanity. They go full woke. They debank dissenters from the leftist vision of the world. They then lie about it and treat their customers like annoyances who they are going to pick their pockets of. Their CEO gaslights the public. Their reps bounce you like a ping pong ball. And good luck getting bonuses or refunds without a frickin' war that I've just described. So if you're watching this, please, my God, do yourself a favor. Pool your money. Close your accounts as soon as you possibly can. Do it today and go anywhere else. Schwab, Fidelity, below your mattress. Anything beats these crooks. Now, if you have a B of A horror story or you have thoughts on my little dilemma here, please drop it in the comments and hit like and subscribe and share this video with your friends to warn them. Recharge your freedom by ditching Bank of America today. Peace out to everybody who doesn't work for that dreadful financial vampire.